There was this one time, me and Norton, Subtle, Willie, 4 of us, saw some strange fruit guests. These people seem to have no weight. You walk in a beautiful way. But look at the figure and expression. No different from the average gawk. And I saw these guys walking up to the houses. Straight through the wall. The walls have no resistance to these people. And I immediately thought that maybe it was the Global Movement Network. But the Global Movement Network, the process of making people move is extremely fast. Its movement is invisible to the human eye. So, I was curious. Something tells me these people are different from ordinary gawks. These people are so strange. How did you get into the house? Can you do that? These are the lights. Virtual human power. Disapproving. Didn't you see it in Nortenga? Oh, I remember. But the architecture that I saw was kind of shaking all the time. The bodies of these people. Why is there no shaking? The architectural requirements are not high. The exterior of ordinary buildings. Factory imaging can be done a little rougher. The appearance of the virtual human. Human factory imaging technology is much more delicate. When delicate to a certain extent, you can't see the shake. Will explain to me. But I still don't quite understand. About virtual humans. Is there a lot you don't know? Lorton saw my confused face. A more professional explanation is given. We Gokes invented human factory scanning technology. Scanning people's brains to record their thoughts. After recording, it is stored in the computer. The idea was, wait until our Gok technology has developed to a certain extent. Once you can create your own body, the recorded ideological information, installed on a new artificial body. Through this method, one can achieve the goal of eternal life. But this ideological information recorded in the computer. From the very beginning. It's not sitting still in the computer. But let these people's consciousness numbers. Running on computers and networks. Is that so? The first virtual humans appeared on our passing planet. The virtual humans of the passing planet just appeared. Exists only in the computers and networks of the Gothic planet. Real people need to use image display devices to see these virtual humans and communicate with these virtual humans. And the physical appearance of these virtual humans are frequent. Lack of a complete concept of a person. The consciousness data of the Goks at that time. When running on a network or computer, we also had a big problem. The human mind exists in the human brain. Under normal circumstances, it cannot be modified. But once it exists in computers and networks, it is easy to modify by yourself or others. We were at that stage. Frequent modification of people's ideological data. It had huge side effects. Later, we introduced the concept of human primitive and code. In some cases, human consciousness. It can be restored to the state when the recording was first started. Until we can actually make bodies. Still follow this habit. Human primitives and code. It became an important concept for us. If you achieve ideological retention on Earth, body-changing immortality technology, human primitives and code, it must be you Earthlings too. Important concepts that cannot be avoided. At the beginning, our avatars can also be represented by light. But it can't be regarded as a true light virtual human. Later, with three-dimensional virtual imaging technology, the continuous development of human factory scanning technology, it allows virtual humans to escape from the network and screen. Went out. 3 virtual people composed of light images started appearing on the street. Later, and spread to every corner of the real world. The light you see virtual human. It's human factory scanning technology. locked in local light and color remotely, coupled with three-dimensional imaging technology, and produced. If you don't use a human factory scan to lock in the local light, when light strikes from a distance, once an object is blocked, it will be difficult to deal with. If at night, the ones you see tend to be dimmer, because the amount of light that lives at night is relatively small, and the virtual humans seen during the day will be brighter and clearer, and that's because there's lots of light during the day. However, the light can also be artificially enhanced at night, make virtual people look extra bright. This situation is more common now. Where do these virtual humans go? Global Movement Network, Global Information Network, and Global Positioning System are tracking. Provide services. This requires a huge amount of data to support. Virtual humans are essentially the product of a large collection of numbers. A human factory computer without powerful computing power. It's not going to happen. The computing power of these people's factory computers. Hundreds of millions of times the computing power of your Earth computer. Although the virtual human body is only composed of light. No real body. But these virtual people are just like real people. They have a sense of self. This self-awareness, it's basically information. It's stored digitally in a computer. It's running on the computer. Virtual humans can communicate with each other. You can have romantic relationships. You can even have sex with information. You can also communicate and have sex with ordinary physical people. The thoughts and emotions of real people. Virtual people have. But how virtual people feel about the real world? There are still many differences from ordinary people. For example, virtual humans don't need to drink water. No need to eat or excrete. Naturally, there is no feeling of hunger, fullness, or thirst. Virtual humans cannot feel their own weight. The body doesn't get sick, because they don't have a body. But virtual humans suffer from mental illness and suffering. Virtual humans also have happiness and pleasure. Virtual people are also divided into male and female and gender-neutral people. We have heterosexuality and homosexuality. And virtual humans influence space-time forces in the physical world. Perception and recognition of photothermal sound. Very different from the rest of us. Virtual humans move from one place to another. Simpler and more casual than flesh. Nothing can stop them. They have no concept of object blocking. They can go in if they want. Come out when you think of it. Virtual humans have no spatial distance barriers. They kind of live in two dimensions. It's just a collection of information about non-foods. Virtual people's sense of time. They're very different from us. Virtual humans have little concept of day and night. You don't sleep to rest. Virtual humans cannot feel the heat and cold. Whether it's a volcano or an iceberg, they can go back and forth in hostile environments. Subtle added. Gothic Planet's virtual man. It's been a gradual evolution. In particular, the development of virtual imaging technology. A pure virtual human that originally existed in a computer network. Start anywhere on the passing planet. Appear as a light avatar. Oh, I kind of get it. It is a human factory according to a certain pattern. Lock in some light on the street. Present some physical images of people. It turns out these people aren't really here. Still with data. Exists in the form of a computer. Yes. But it's not that simple. This guy, factory imaging technology, rely on the Global Sports Network, Global Public Information Network, and Global Positioning System. They're constantly capturing information about the place. And then we get light. Information obtained by virtual humans. In this place, with an ordinary physical person. Amount of information obtained. It makes no difference. Even more detailed. Now the virtual human you see. They can also move objects. It's actually a signal to move an object. Send to Global Sports Network. The handling function is realized by the Global Sports Network. Between the virtual person and the virtual person. And between virtual people and real people. How did they have sex? One way to do this is to take screenshots. Digital signals of sexual activity. Directly into the human brain. Take advantage of this technology. Can put people's sensory memory and other conscious information. Connecting consciousness and interacting with virtual humans. Another way is, virtual humans are realized through information. Infogni can be transformed into a prop person. Remotely manipulate and control this prop person. Or a human body composed of 2 information niches. Activate information mud with signal digitals. All activity signals of the human body. Using human factory scanning technology. Bound together with the light virtual human. Soodle says. On our passing planet, most people are virtual humans. Sudhir's words surprised me. Willie told me. Virtual humans are the losers in the real world. They get tired of being in the real world. Not used to it. Hiding in the virtual world. In fact, we have passed through the planet. Everyone has a real body. There are also virtual identities that exist in the network. It depends on your preference. Are you willing to appear as a virtual human? You are the virtual human. You are willing to appear in your real body. You are just an ordinary person. The power word surprised me even more. Norton said that on Passenger Planet, everyone has a virtual human and the real body. Even in exceptional circumstances, a person has multiple bodies and multiple virtual human identities. Your body is not limited to the human body. It could be a spaceship, a fish, or a castle. Of course, yeah. These fish castles and ships are highly intelligent. Can receive people's consciousness information. Can communicate with people. Simply put, these things are alive, not dead. Under normal circumstances, we put those long-term, those who do not want to appear in their true flesh. It's called a virtual human. So I went back to Willie's place. I still haunt him. Ask him about the virtual human. Because I'm so curious about this. Willie seems to be very patient today. Explain to me in detail the various problems of virtual humans. Finally, he gave a stroke in the air with his hand. A plume of smoke rose up around me. Many images appear on the smoke. Valerie taught me with virtual images. I asked, does every virtual human have a spare body? Once this virtual human wants to restore his real body, take out the spare body. Just install the awareness information? Yes, that's it. Where are these spare bodies? You see Willie pointing at the virtual screen. I saw many transparent containers like jars. It's filled with liquid. In each jar, there is one that is dormant. Naked person. I saw the beautiful bodies of some women. Is it a virtual human? You need a backup body. Don't need so much. Virtual humans who demand to restore their real bodies every day. Actually, very few. I want to be a virtual human. Appear as a physical person. Is this okay? This will create 2 of me, causing you mental pain and confusion. No one wants such trouble. Then he got bored by my endless questions. Don't want to answer me. Tell me a game program. Let me experience the power myself. I ran it on a virtual computer. Then let me lie in bed. Pretty soon, I felt like I was in a strange world. The surrounding scenery seems to have been painted by people. There are many Gok characters floating in the sky. I'm walking down the road. A voiceover asks, where are you going? Do you need significant others? Please choose. I saw 5 beautiful women by the side of the road. Everyone is waving excitedly to me. And they are all very beautiful. If on Earth, I can't even look at these beautiful women. One is because it's so pretty. One was because I had low self-esteem. Since I have been at the bottom of society for a long time. Unconsciously acquiescing to a fact. Beautiful woman. They all look down on us poor rural teenagers. Such a beautiful woman. Now I can choose. I'm so happy. I chose one of them. Take a closer look. Why does it look so powerful? Do I prefer this type of beautiful woman? I want to change it. But the other 4 have disappeared. Then I chose a few more pets. These pets are always floating by my side. Travel with me. There are constant voiceovers prompting me to make a choice. But I have no experience. Sometimes I make the wrong choice, and I circle back to the same place. I had to start all over again. Fortunately, we're finally on our way. And there were incredible sensations. You can jump up the mountain in one fell swoop. You can walk through the walls slowly. Can fly freely in the sky. You can feel your body as if floating like soft silk. You can go anywhere you want. Then I suddenly thought of the beautiful woman who has been following me. So he leaned over and put his arms around her. Really enjoyable. We are hugging. Suddenly seemed to wake up from sleep. I saw Willie standing in front of me. Is staring at me. And I tried that again and again. There are so many wonderful new feelings. So what they did was, they scanned the field first. Put me in a state of weightlessness. When we train astronauts on Earth, the simulated weightlessness is all carried out in water. Why make people weightless? Because people who live on computers and networks, the vast majority of virtual humans, there is no sense of gravity. Unless gravity is intentionally set. Eliminate the feeling of gravity. It wasn't just the feeling that brought me closer to the virtual human. It can also suppress people's self-awareness. Inherent impression of reality. They first cut me off from the real world, so that I can't feel the gravity of the real world. Space-time, color, temperature, sound. The influence of odor and other factors on me. When one is completely oblivious to one's surroundings and the real world, we forget about the real world. You can better experience the virtual world on your computer. When you become a virtual human, first of all, like physical people, feel very awake. Not the half-awake state people imagine. So let's start with this. I feel that the colors of heaven and earth are different from the real world. Hazy. And the colors change. The distinction between heaven and earth is not very obvious. Sometimes I feel like the earth is above my head. Space is at your feet. Sometimes I feel like the earth is above my head. The ground beneath my feet. Space exists only between 2 great bottoms. So narrow a line. Most of the time, you don't feel like you have a place. Everything around us is changing, including color. A lot of places have a base shade. So you go to a place. It feels like everything seems to be sprayed with a layer of red. To another place. All the scenery is purple. In some places, it is more serum color. Virtual humans can be in different places at the same time. Look at your body from a different perspective. The concept of time of virtual humans is also different from that of physical humans. It's hard to feel the passage of time. Often don't understand the order of things. It's not uncommon to feel like we're going back in time. What happened not long ago is now repeated. Can't tell the difference between top and bottom. I can't tell the difference between southeast and northwest. The place I just stayed in soon became unfamiliar again. There are almost no familiar scenes. It gives the feeling of time and space chaos. Feeling characters and scenes are randomly distributed in 3-dimensional space. Some scenes face up, some face down. Some are tilted. The sea floor and the sky are all floating in front of his eyes. Unlike the real world, which is concentrated on the ground. The size of the characters and the setting is also random. The otherwise static scene suddenly moved. The moving scene came to a standstill for a while. A lot of it is drifting. People who seem far away will suddenly float in front of your eyes. You've come a long way. Finally, I found that I was back to the starting point. Use your eyes to distinguish the people and environment around you. It's not even as accurate as feeling it with your heart. Virtual humans cannot feel the weight of their bodies. I always feel my body is light, like a ball of cotton wool flying around. You can stand anywhere in the space at will. Virtual humans are bold, because you don't have to worry about collisions with objects. You don't have to worry about being attacked and killed. At first, when someone raises a knife and slashes at you, you will still feel afraid when the knife cuts through your body. You find that there is no pain. There's even a sense of pleasure. Gradually, you get more and more courageous. Even in the real world, things that seem dangerous, you won't be afraid anymore. Just for some weird creatures and scenes. To feel afraid. When two virtual humans hug, can easily integrate into each other's body. Virtual humans feel their own bodies. Have an extreme sense of freedom. Sometimes I feel my own body, and that of others. It can be shaped at will, turned into fragments, fluids, and utensils. It can look solid, then quickly turns into liquid. It can also be turned into gas. You can switch at will. Virtual people can join the virtual game at any time. Virtual humans cannot commit suicide. Can't kill another virtual human. Ordinary people want to kill virtual humans. It's no use attacking their image bodies. You can only find networks where virtual people exist. And the computer. Destroy their data. To kill them. Under normal circumstances, the light virtual human feels like air. But the rays can leverage the global movement network. Build a position on your appearance. Make you feel like a real object. And it gives you a different feel to the touch.